God's timing is not our timing, and understanding this truth is key to living a life of peace and fulfillment. From the moment you were formed in your mother's womb, Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5, God knew the plans He had for you. Every detail of your life has been carefully designed by Him. If you follow His word and place your trust in Him, everything will unfold exactly when it is supposed to. There is no such thing as being late or behind when you're obedient and walking in God's timing. It's easy to feel frustrated when things aren't happening as quickly as you'd like. As human beings, we often have our own schedules, our own deadlines, and our own expectations. But God operates on a divine timeline, one that doesn't always align with our own. If we truly desire to live according to His will, we must learn to surrender our plans and trust in His perfect timing. God has given you free will because He loves and respects you deeply. You have the power to make your own decisions, but when you try to force things outside of God's timing, you risk stepping out of alignment with His will. Acting outside of God's plan can lead to confusion, heartache, and unnecessary struggles. You may find yourself in situations that cause you stress and pain, simply because you went ahead of God trying to do things in your own strength. Remember, God does not need your help. He needs your obedience. Stay aligned with His will and let Him guide your steps. Your role is simple. Ask, believe, and carry on with your life, no matter how long it takes for your prayers to be answered. If you say you trust in God's timing, then you shouldn't be fixated on how long it takes. Instead, focus on ensuring that you are walking in His will. Is being in God's will easy? Not always, but it is far better than the alternative. When you step outside of His will, you open the door to mistakes that can have lasting consequences. Trusting God's timing protects you from unnecessary time-wasting detours. God is never in a hurry because He knows exactly what you need and when you need it. Believe that He sees the bigger picture of your life and trust that His plans are far greater than yours. All things work together for the good of those who trust in Him. Romans chapter 8 verse 28. Stop looking to society as a guide for how you should be living. Instead, seek God's guidance and repeatedly ask if you are operating in His will. It's easy to compare yourself to others when you don't have what you want. You might see friends and family reaching milestones you've been praying for and feel left behind. But everyone's journey is different. So what your sister got married at 21, you might get married at 30, 40, or even 50 if that's God's timing for you. Your friend bought a house, but your time may come in a few years. Your colleague started a successful business, but that doesn't mean you're meant to follow the same path right now. If God hasn't prompted you to make a move, trust that there's a reason. When it's time for God to act, He will, no matter where you are or what you're doing. Until then, your responsibility is to stay faithful. Keep doing what you're supposed to be doing, going to work, caring for your family, helping others, practicing forgiveness, and living in His will. The Bible tells us not to worry. Worry creeps in when we focus too much on our unmet desires. We find ourselves asking, when will I meet the right person? When will I get that new job? When will I see my business grow? The answers to those questions are when God knows you're ready to handle it. If something hasn't happened yet, it simply means it's not time. There may be things you need to do to prepare for the blessings God wants to give you. Sometimes this means extending forgiveness, practicing gratitude, or learning to be patient. God may be waiting for you to fully depend on Him rather than on the things you desire. Often, what we long for can become idols, taking the place of God in our lives. He wants to ensure that your heart is in the right place before He blesses you. Instead of complaining about delays, ask yourself if you are truly ready for what you're praying for. Are you taking care of your health? Are you managing your finances wisely? Are you preparing yourself mentally and spiritually for the responsibilities you desire? Are you treating others with kindness and showing gratitude for what you already have? Are you praising God even when your prayers seem unanswered? God knows your heart's desires. You don't need to keep asking Him repeatedly. He already knows what you need. He is God, and He will continue to do things His way, and in His time. If something you desire doesn't happen, it simply means it wasn't part of His plan, or He's preparing something far greater for you than you could ever imagine. So relax. Put your life in God's hands. Be at peace and trust Him. Keep moving forward, keep praying, keep praising, and keep being grateful. Make sure you are in alignment with His will and watch how God will show up in your life in ways you never imagined. Trust that His timing is perfect, and when it's time, He will make all things beautiful in your life.